What's up, bros? So welcome to the opening video. Now, this video is extremely important, okay? Obviously, it's what do you say to the girl? You need to go up and have a conversation with her. What do you say? And most guys, they're very creepy when they approach a girl. They're very creepy when they first start the conversation. The girls are a little bit put off. But when you really realize what you're doing and what you should be doing, firstly, you're going to make the interaction go well, okay, start it off by going well. And secondly, the girl's just going to have a good experience, okay, because she's not used to a guy approaching her and not making her feel uncomfortable and weird and making like she has to use all these excuses to leave, okay? You're going to do what's actually necessary to make her comfortable and to have a good experience with her. So let's crack into it. The first thing is opening matters. Okay, so lots of people think, and you might even think to yourself, like, okay, it doesn't really matter. I can say anything to her. Okay, I can just say anything. Well, let me ask you this. If you walk up to the girl and you say, hey, bitch, okay, and obviously you would never ever do that, but if you did do that, you would get a negative reaction. Why? The verbals you're using are bad. If there's bad verbals, there is good verbals. Okay, it's as simple as that. If there's something that you can say that's bad, there obviously is something that you can say that is good. Now, that's an extreme example, but let me tell you something. If you're starting the conversation off well, it's going to be easier. If you start the conversation off badly, it's going to be more difficult. Okay, because this is when her comfort levels really matter. This is her first basically impression of you, okay, in the first few seconds. So you want to really focus and you want to make sure that you're not doing or saying the wrong thing. What's the purpose of an opener? The purpose of an opener, number one, is just to open. Okay, literally just to open. You starting the conversation. The purpose of an opener is to get in a conversation, to start it off. Okay, it's as simple as that. No matter how good you are or how bad you are, what your skill level is or what your goals are, if you do not open, you cannot get results. Okay, it's as simple as that. Me, you, anyone else, we all are not above this. We all have to actually open. Okay? Now, the purpose of an opener, as I said, is firstly just to open, just to get inside the conversation, just to start it off. Secondly, it's to show the girl a demonstration of your personality. This is the first insight that she has into who you are. This could be 10 seconds. This could be 20 seconds. This is the first glimpse of what is this guy like, what qualities is she like. Women are very intuitive, okay? Within 20 seconds of your conversation, 20 seconds of your opener, they can already tell a lot about you, what type of guy you are, who you are, your qualities, your confidence levels, all of these types of things. Your opener is your first demonstration of your personality, okay? And what is a big interaction? A big interaction is just a big sample of your personality. She's seeing a lot of your personality. The opener is just a smaller sample, but it's the start. If she doesn't like your personality, oftentimes you'll get rejected. So you have to realize that the opener itself is the first part and the first opportunity for you to demonstrate your personality. Next, the next purpose of an opener is to set the frame. Okay, we're going to go into a little bit later the difference of direct versus indirect. If you open direct, you're setting a different frame. What do I mean by frame? You're basically creating this different perception of what you want from the girl and she understands what you want. Either you're going with intent or you're going indirect where there's no intent. Okay, so there's three purposes that I discussed there of the opener. Okay, number one, just to open. Number two, giving her a sample of your personality. And number three, setting the frame, whether it's direct or indirect. This is all done by the opener. Now let's get into the mindsets of someone just before you open, okay? The first mindset you need to have is all girls are friendly. What do I mean by this? You need to have the mindset that, okay, every girl in the world is friendly. Is this true? Probably not. Okay, it's probably not true. Not every single girl is friendly, but it helps you to have this mindset. It helps you to believe that every girl is open, every girl is friendly, every girl is approachable. Okay? Next, all girls are bored and just waiting for you. That super cute girl that's just kind of walking on the street, she's bored. She needs some excitement in her life. She needs you to come and speak to her. She's waiting for you. Okay, have that mindset. She's literally waiting for you. All girls would love the opportunity to meet you. Of course they would. You're an amazing guy, and they would love this opportunity. You giving them a prize, you're giving them a present, you're giving them the opportunity to meet you, to experience who you are. Okay? Next, you have good intentions. You have good intentions when you're going to speak to the girl. So there's nothing to worry about. You have great intentions. You're trying to add to her day. You're trying to give her a good experience. Okay? Now we're getting into the actual openers themselves. So we've got two types of openers, two styles, if you will, direct and indirect. So we're not getting into the openers themselves just yet. Let me firstly explain to you what this is. Direct is when you state your intention or your intent straight away. Indirect is when you first convey your personality and your qualities before you show intent. Ultimately, every single indirect approach or open that you ever do has to become direct at some point. What is that moment? When you show intent. So this could look like 5 seconds of an indirect approach followed by intent. Now all of a sudden it becomes direct. But you need to understand that with indirect, you're showing her who you are before you're telling her, you know what, I like you, I think you're cute, I think you're sexy, whatever it is. You're first showing her who you are. Her guard is not up. Okay, she's thinking, okay, let's just have a conversation. Oh wow, this guy is really cool. Oh wow, he's got all these qualities. And now he also likes me. That's pretty cool. Now let's go into the pros and cons of both. Let's start with direct. What are the pros? The pros, the positives, are you showing qualities such as confidence. You're walking up to a girl, and I'm going to tell you the structure of how to set out a direct opener, but you're walking up to the girl and you're telling her that she's cute. Okay? It shows the quality of confidence. Confidence is a great trait. Okay? So you're showing that trait, and this is extremely good. Okay? You're showing the trait of confidence. Now, what is the con of direct? The con is you are showing your interest and your intent without her having to do anything to win it over. She's won your interest. She's won over the fact that you're giving her intent just because she was born hot. Okay, well, she has a great body. Just because of that, she's lucky that she hasn't done anything to deserve it, but you're already showing her interest. So there's pros and there's cons. Indirect. What are the pros? The pros are you're not showing your intent. You're being more under the radar. You're being more subtle. You're having the conversation. You're getting to know who she is. She's getting to know you without her knowing that you're into her just yet. And then at a later stage, you show your intent. So she has already got to know all your qualities and your personality. What is the con of indirect? The con is she doesn't even know why you're speaking to her. Okay? Or she's just thinking, oh, this is a nice conversation, and then she leaves because she doesn't even know that you like her. Pros and cons. Next thing to consider is, this is very big, AIA. Am I attracted? Every time you speak to a girl, the moment you show intent, you are triggering a thought pattern in her head. This could be conscious, this could be unconscious. And she's thinking in her head, AIA. Am I attracted? Yes, let's keep speaking to this guy. No, let's reject this guy. You're only going to trigger AIA when you go direct. That's why that's one of the pros of indirect, is you're first showing her your personality, and at the point where you trigger AIA, am I attracted to this guy? She's got so much evidence to base it off, and now there's more likely that she'll think to herself, yes. In direct, you're triggering AIA, the thought response, within 3 seconds. She's thinking, am I attracted? If the answer is yes, it's going to be great. The interaction is going to go forward. But if the answer is no, it's hard to recover. So with direct, you trigger AIA fast. And this could also be a pro, because you know that if she keeps speaking to you, she's accepting this frame. You know that she's had the thought response of, am I attracted? Yes, and she keeps speaking to you. So there's pros and cons here. Next thing is understanding semi-direct. What is semi-direct? It's giving the girl a compliment, but it's not necessarily giving her a physical compliment or telling her that she's cute, so it's not very direct. Okay, maybe it's a compliment on her dress, on her appearance, but it's not something so physical, so I'm not putting so much intent across like I would do with direct. I'm swaying basically in the middle between direct and indirect. Okay, but it's still more direct than indirect because I'm going up to her and giving her a compliment, of course. Now, let's get into Okay, let's use a different color here. Let's now, before we get into the calibration, let's get into the actual openers themselves. Okay, so as I said, we've got direct and indirect, and there's pros and cons to doing both. Now, let's get into the actual openers themselves. So firstly, direct. How do you want to do a direct open? You want to do it like this, and I'm just going to write over here. Okay, well, let me write over here. So I was just doing X, I saw you doing Y, I had to say Z. Okay, this is your direct structure. I was just doing X, I saw you doing Y, I had to say Z. Let me fill this in for you. I was just walking past, I saw you standing there getting a coffee, and I had to come over and say hi. I was just on the way to meet a friend, I saw you walking past, I had to come over and say that you're cute. Okay, whatever it is. Now, the thing is, I was just doing X. Why do you have to do this? Because she's thinking, is this spontaneous? Is this in the moment? Where did this guy see me from? What's going on? Has he been following me? When you say I was just doing X, then she knows, okay, it was in the moment. He wasn't just following me for hours. It just happened. He saw me doing Y. I was doing that right now, right this second. So it's obviously in the moment. And then what you have to actually say, I had to say Z. This could be I had to say hi. I had to come say that you're cute. I had to come say that you're attractive. I had to come say that I think you're adorable. Generally stay away from words like sexy and beautiful. Beautiful is too much interest. Sexy, it's like can be perceived as a little bit weird straight on. Okay, I was just doing X, saw you doing Y, had to say Z. This is your direct structure. Very, very important. You don't want to leave any of these out. And it's very simple. Whatever you were doing before you met her, wherever you saw, whatever she was doing as you saw her, just say that. And then I had to say hi. I had to say that you're very cute. I had to say that you're very attractive. Okay, this is the open. We're not talking about how to continue that conversation. There's a lot more to come in the program, but this is just the direct open. Now we're going to indirect. And with indirect open, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 openers. You want to basically understand them all. So for indirect, you've got firstly situational opener. What is a situational opener? A situational opener is when you comment, okay, something about the overall situation, because both of you are in the same situation, so it makes sense to her. She's not thinking, why did you say that? Okay, because you're in the same situation. If you're in a club, you make a comment about the DJ, maybe about the same thing that both of you are looking at. Maybe it's about the music that you can both hear. Maybe it's just a comment, okay? You know, they actually stopped playing pop here, now they only play hip hop, okay, whatever it is. You're making a comment on something to do with the situation. If you're in a daytime setting, you can also make a comment about the situation, about the weather even. That's a situational opener. Anything where she understands that she's in the same situation as you, so it makes sense. It's very well rooted. And I go into rooting in the program, but she understands why you are speaking to her, because she's in the same situation as you. Next, proactive opener. Proactive opener is a subcategory of a situational opener. So a proactive opener is where you comment on something she's saying, doing, thinking, or looking at. You comment on something that she's saying, doing, thinking, or looking at. If she's in a grocery store and she's looking at the oranges, you make a comment, and the comments can be anything. You should get that. You shouldn't get that. You should rather get the bananas. Oh my God, you should get apples, or anything, okay? If she's staring at jewelry in a jewelry store, that would definitely suit you. That wouldn't suit you. That would suit you. That you should get that watch. Oh my God, you should get that necklace. No, don't get that necklace. Why is this working? Because she's having these thoughts right now. She's thinking that. She's thinking something to do with what she's actually experiencing. Okay? Maybe she is walking fast and you're trying to do a proactive opener. Well, you can always comment something that she's actually doing. Oh my God, you're walking so fast. It looks like you're going to a meeting. Okay? Oh my God, it looks like you're training for the Olympics. Okay, don't think too hard. It's harder to do it if she's just walking, because you don't really know what's going on. She's not looking at something. She's not obviously thinking about something. So it's harder to do a proactive opener when she's just walking. But anytime she's in a clothing shop, she's looking at a red dress, You should definitely get that. No, you should get that in pink. No, you shouldn't get that. Get that instead. You should get that. Whatever it is. Remember, you're opening. Okay? Now, that is a proactive opener. Now we're getting into a functional opener. What is a functional opener? Okay? What's the time? Do you know where the bathroom is? Do you know where Starbucks is? Okay, well, that's kind of a direction opener. But what's the time? That's basically a functional opener. Do you have a lighter? What's the pros and cons here? The pros are, it's very, very indirect. She's not going to think, oh, he's actually hitting on me. Okay, he's just asking the time. He's just asking for a light. Okay, he's just asking for a cigarette. He's just asking for a lighter. But the cons are, it might be, so the pros are, it's very easy to get in the conversation, but the cons are, it might be harder to transition. Okay, because you're going in so indirect that it might be harder for you. Now, now we're going to direction opener. Do you know where the Starbucks is? Do you know where the bathroom is? Do you know where this restaurant is? Do you know where that place is? Now, the pros, it's also very indirect. You're not going to really get rejected because no girl is going to say to you, don't ask me, why are you even asking me this stuff? No girl is going to do that. So you're already getting in a conversation with the girl. But the cons are, you're approaching a girl just for her to tell you to go away. Because the directions that you ask are never going to be exactly where you're standing. So you're basically saying, tell me to go somewhere else. That's what a direction opener is. Where's the bathroom? It's never going to be exactly where you're standing. So she's always going to say, go there, it's over there, it's over there. So you're opening her literally just for her to tell you to go. Okay? But that's why it's fine. It's very indirect. And then you have to transition afterwards. And there's countless ways to transition in the program, through her accent, all of these types of things. Okay? Now, the next one is a cold read opener. Cold read opener, and you're going to learn about cold reads in the attraction series. It's basically opening where you're getting an emotional reaction straight away. Okay? So you seem Greek, you seem Italian, you look Spanish, you look like you're from Spain, you look like you're from Sweden. Okay? And again, you can do this with a group. You guys look Swedish. You look from Sweden and you actually look Italian. Okay, great way. You can usually get a laugh. That's the positive is you get a laughter. Now let's go into opinion opener. What is an opinion opener? It's asking the girls an opinion on something. What are the pros? Okay, the pros are you're getting a lot of investment, you're getting a lot of interactivity, you're leading the group. All the girls are watching you have a conversation with all the other girls, okay, in the group. So there's a lot of pros, okay? You're having a conversation, and also you're having a conversation with something that the girls find interesting. So let's break down an opinion opener now. You started off always with, hey guys, okay? Hey. You can always, this is called a pre-opener. You can always start your pre-openers with, your openers with pre-openers. Hey there, hey guys, hey. And then you can go into anything. You should get that red dress. But you don't necessarily need a pre-opener for lots of these things. For proactive, for functional you might, for directional you might. Hey there, do you know where the Starbucks is? Okay? Not all of them you need a pre-opener. Definitely an opinion opener, you need to capture their attention. But you can't, again, you're not going to really make a mistake with using a pre-opener for everything here. Because you have to understand that if they don't really hear the opener, or if they don't even know that you're speaking to them, you might have to repeat yourself, and repeating yourself is generally a sign of low value. So you want to, with all these openers, hey guys, hey there, hey, what's up? Okay, or just a variation of that, guys. So let's go into the opinion opener. You start off with your pre-opener, hey guys. Then you generally go to a false time constraint. Okay, so I'm just going to write that here. You start with a pre-opener. Then you go to a false time constraint. I have to get going in a second. Why are you using a false time constraint? Because what is a false time constraint? It's basically telling the girls, I'm not going to stay here forever. I have to get going. Because one of their biggest thoughts, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is how long is this guy going to stay? The moment you say, I'm going to get going in a second, even though you're not, they feel more comfortable. Hey guys, quick question. That's a false time constraint. Really quick. I have to get going in a sec. All of these are false time constraints. I have to get back to my friends in a sec. Really, really quick. Just choose one, okay, whatever. Hey guys, really, really quick. And now you get into the lead question. Do you guys think, let's take an example, drunken I love yous count? When you're drunk and you say I love you to a girl. Okay? Whatever you want to say. Like, hey guys, would you, quick question, would you ever date your best friend's ex? Hey guys, quick question. Would you ever date a guy that's shorter than you? Hey guys, quick question. Justin Bieber or Justin Timberlake? Who's sexier? Hey guys, quick question. How soon is too soon to get engaged? Now, how am I coming up with these topics? You want to come up with topics that firstly girls will find interesting. So what do girls find interesting? Things to do with spirituality, energy or the unknown, relationships, okay, anything to do with relationships, drama, gossip, cute things like babies or kittens or cats, okay, whatever, puppies. All of those things girls find interesting. Fashion, jewelry, and of course girls will find other things interesting, but this might really spark their attentions, captivate them. And again, if you come up with a new opinion opener, try and see if you can fit it in with these categories. If you can't, test it out, see if girls find it interesting. Generally, you don't want to go and use a politics opener or a religion, or it's too serious and some people just don't care enough. Okay, so keep it around those topics. You could see that everything I said, hey guys, Justin Bieber or Justin Timberlake, that's gossip. Hey guys, would you date your best friend's ex? That's relationship type of stuff. Hey guys, how soon is too soon to get engaged? That's relationship type of stuff. Okay, all of these types of questions, it's just fun, it's entertaining, it's interesting. Maybe your opener is, it's not necessarily the most interesting, but it's very fun and engaging. So then you have your lead question. As I said, it needs to be short, it needs to be snappy. Hey guys, drunken I love yous, do they count? Hey guys, how soon is too soon to get engaged? You don't want to have a whole story here. You're asking a lead question. Okay? Once you've asked the question, maybe they're going to say yes, no, but irrespective of what they say, you don't wait there waiting for a reaction. You keep going. And now you go into your reason or your story. The reason I'm actually asking is because X, Y, and Z. The reason I'm actually asking is because my best friend, she actually called me and she already wants to get engaged with this guy. She's known him for a week. How crazy is that? Okay, boom, quick. Hey guys, quick question. I have to get going in a sec, but do drunken I love yous count? The reason I'm asking, my best friend, literally 2 days ago, she came up to me, she was pretty drunk in a club, and she says, I love you. Okay, does that count? And now, after this, now you're getting interactivity. Now they're going to say, yes, no, I can't believe that. No, this will happen, that will happen. And maybe you're starting to now get into a conversation around this. Okay, again, you don't want to get lost in this and speak around about this for 10 minutes. You eventually need to move on and transition. Okay, but that's going to be in the future videos in the program. So this is what a good opinion opener is. And you can come up with your own opinion openers. Okay, hey guys, I'm getting a new puppy. I'm thinking of a name. Right now I'm thinking of, but again, you want to make it snappier. Hey guys, what's a good name for a puppy? The reason I'm asking, I'm getting a new puppy tomorrow. I'm either going to call it James or Milo. Okay, whatever it is, that just came to my mind. Now again, that's with one of the topics, cute things that I said before. Okay, so remember, I'm bringing all these topics into play. Now, just because you're not necessarily interested in all this stuff doesn't mean that you mustn't talk about it. Because a lot of people are thinking, okay, but I'm the type of guy that's not interested in jewelry and makeup and gossip, so I shouldn't be speaking about that. Who cares? Do it because they're interested. You're starting a conversation. You're not going there to speak about gossip for 5 hours, but you're starting a conversation because maybe they're going to be more interested in this type of stuff. So something that you need to do is follow along with what's going on. I'm not saying watch the news about Justin Bieber, but understand what's the latest about him so you can bring it up maybe in an opinion opener. Understand what's the latest around jewelry. What do girls like? What fashion do they like? What clothes do they like? Okay, what opinion openers can you use? Don't be using things from 100 years ago, okay, in terms of topics from 100 years ago. Think about what you can use. What's the latest? What's the latest gossip? What's the latest in terms of relationship developments? What are some crazy, interesting things? And anytime someone says something to you, you can always bring it up in a new opinion opener. If your best friend got dumped, maybe it's an interesting story, use it in another opinion opener. So that's your opinion opener. The pros, as I said, you're going to be running the conversation. It's almost like you're giving a speech. You're a leader. You're dominating the group. What are the cons? Is you're speaking about these random topics and you're not necessarily conveying your interest in them, and they actually just more interested in the topic than you. You just gave them a topic to talk about. So there's pros and cons. Next opener, self-amusement opener. This is something that you find funny or something that humors you. You open with, or you open by doing it because it gets you in a good state. It gives you this emotional reaction, and you use that to hopefully carry you through. Now again, you don't want to get too crazy with this stuff. You don't want to do two things that aren't even relatable to the girl, but maybe you say something that you find funny, or you do something that you find funny. The pros of doing this is that she sees you're not attached to the outcome. You're not necessarily worried about what she thinks or what other people think. That's the pros, okay? The cons are maybe she just doesn't find it funny and she actually finds it a little bit weird. Familiarity opener, okay? Open as if you know the girl. I used to do this a lot. You're walking in a club. Hey there, how have you been? But you really need to assume familiarity. Hey there, what's up? Long time, how have you been? I used to open like this all the time. Okay, no girl really wants to be rude and say, who the hell are you? Because they don't know. Did they meet you? Did they know you through a friend? Did they meet you at a barbecue? Did they meet you at a party? Are you their best friend's cousin? Are you their best friend's friend? Did they meet you last weekend? Did they meet you last night that they can't remember? So, just assume it. Hey there, what's up? Crazy, long time. How was your night? You're assuming familiarity. How would you actually open if you saw a girl that you pretty much knew? The same way. Hey there, what's up? Okay, you assume in your head that you know her, and it will actually blow your minds. 90% of the time, girls are just thinking, oh, I must know this guy. Okay, girls and people meet so many different men and different girls, especially if they're going out and they're social, they can't afford to say, who the hell are you? Okay, because maybe you're their best friend's cousin. Maybe you're the guy that they met last night. They don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Now again, if you're not assuming it well and you just say, hey, what's up? They're going to feel that you don't really know them. Okay, so you need to really own it. Next opener, verbal compliance opener. So what is this? Basically like, hey, come here 1 second. Okay, come here, come over here. What's the pros of doing that? The pros are you showing qualities like leadership. And if she comes, then you're actually getting a lot of compliance from her. What are the cons? If she doesn't come, you lose a lot of value. Because now what? Now you have to walk all the way over to her. You're also asking for so much investment for her to come over before you even have any value. So you might not get away with it. So there's pros and cons there. Okay. Now, with all these openers, when do you want to do each? Well, you need to calibrate. Like, let's go through them quickly. So direct, and again, I'm going to get into the calibration on when to do each. But direct, if I see a girl just walking past, there's not much I can do situationally, proactive, functional, whatever. It's a little bit weird to go up to her randomly to ask her where the Starbucks is because she's thinking, why is he coming up to me specifically? Then I'll probably go direct. Okay? If I see a girl walking past and I know that, like, okay, she's just, I'm not going to have another shot. She looks like she's in a rush. I'm going to go direct. Indirect, if I have opportunities to do these things, I'll probably go indirect. Now, you don't want to use any of these as a crutch, as a comfort zone. Always go like for a direction, because you'll start to see that directions might be hard to transition from. Okay? But there's no perfect opener to do at every point in time. With every girl, you can do a number of these openers. Okay? Maybe in the nighttime, you might focus more on self-amusement, cold read, okay? Situational. Whereas in the daytime, it might be more direct, proactive, direction, okay? But again, you can do opinion opener because there's lots of groups at the nighttime. You might also find groups in the daytime, okay? You can even ask one girl an opinion. It doesn't matter. So the energy levels of the place, night game, more orientated towards self-amusement, more orientated towards situational because there's a lot of things that you're sharing in terms of the common situation, more orientated towards cold reads because you're getting that reaction. Day game and also night game, verbal compliance, day and familiarity. Day game, it could be more orientated towards direction, functional, proactive. Okay, opinion opener can be both. So, and direct, you can also do a night game, but you have to understand that in night game, lots of girls are being hit on. In the daytime, it's very rare. Okay, so maybe you're doing more direct game during day game and less so in night game. But again, you can still do it. Because again, it shows, as I said before, it shows some good traits. Okay, so these are the openers. Now let's get into calibration and then the different types. So calibration. The first thing is time window. According to the time window, that's the opener that you're going to use. That's the style of opener. If the time window is short, you'll go direct. If the time window is long, you'll go indirect. What do I mean by this? The time window is how much time you have to talk to her. If she's in a rush, if she has to go somewhere, if she's like running across, you don't have enough time to go indirect, to just start randomly a conversation. Okay? So she's in a rush. The window is very small. You go direct. She has to leave. She has to go to the Uber. You go direct. You think that she's whatever. She's got a big time constraint for whatever reason. You go direct. Okay? The time window is very important. Is she alone or is she with friends? This is something that you need to consider. If she's alone, maybe, again, you can go direct, you can go indirect, but now if she's with friends, if you go too direct, it puts all the attention on her. All the friends are watching, all the friends are noticing. What type of girl is this? Can she handle that pressure? Is she more of a conservative, shy girl? Well, then you're going direct and it's actually going to make her feel uncomfortable. Where if she was by herself, it wouldn't matter as much. Okay, direct puts a lot of pressure on. And especially if there's other girls watching, the friends, it might put too much pressure on. Before versus after. So what is this? This is calibrating before versus after. So what do I mean by this? You need to have both. Some people will say, and this is completely wrong, okay? Basically, what some students do is calibrate after. What does that mean? You go into the interaction, you don't even think, and you just open. What are the pros of that? The pros are you don't have approach anxiety, you just go straight in. You're not thinking, you're not getting too logical or inside your head or anything like that. You're just in, and then you're going to see what happens afterwards. There's a lot of pros. That's very good, especially if you're struggling with approach anxiety. And maybe if it's a crazy busy environment, you can just do that. You just go in. You just go in. You don't let the environment intimidate you. What does it mean to calibrate before? There's also pros and cons. Calibrating before means let's look at the girl that I'm going to speak to and let's just think for a second. Okay, let's just think about what am I going to say? Is there going to be interruptions? Is a waiter coming? Who is she with? Is she standing next to a few guys? Is she standing with girls? What's going on? Okay, who is the leader? What's going on in the group? Okay, are they about to leave? Did they just order food? Just take 10 seconds or 30 seconds to think. That's what calibrating before means. There's pros and cons. The pros are you have more information now. When you're gaming her, you're going to make better decisions. You know what to expect. You know that there's interrupts. You know what you're dealing with. You know that there's friends around. Okay, so you're going to be better equipped. What are the cons? The cons are you might get so stuck in your head and so logical that you get so much anxiety and you don't even go in. Okay, so that's why you want a balance. And depending where you are, if you get a lot of anxiety, a lot of approach anxiety, don't even do any calibrating before. Just go in. Okay, if you're getting to a more experienced level, then have a little bit of calibrating before and obviously calibrating after, where you just go in and you see what happens. Now, the next thing you have to think about is what is she doing while you're trying to open her or just before you open her? Because that's going to change the lots of openers that you use. If she's looking at a car, maybe she's just staring at a car, I might go in there and use a proactive opener. Just comment on something that she's looking at. If she is, I don't know, like walking super fast just before I open her, as I said, I'll probably go direct. If she is, maybe she's in a very playful state, maybe I'll also go in with a self-amusement opener. Okay? Maybe she gives me a look just before I open. Maybe I'll go in with a familiarity opener. Okay? All of these types of things. What is she actually doing? The next thing to understand is physicality. Do you want to get physical as you open her? What do I mean by physical? Touching her. Now, there's pros and cons here. You don't want to do too much touch because that's weird. And why are you touching her? You don't even know her. You can't get away with doing so much touch. But a little bit of touch can help you. Okay, why? Because she's becoming comfortable with your touch. She's seeing you as just a touchy guy, a guy that likes to touch. and she's getting comfortable, more and more comfortable to your touch, so that the more you do, the more comfortable she's going to get. So if you started off in the beginning, it's going to be easier for you to start touching her compared to if you wait 30 hours and then you touch her. It's going to be harder. But how do you touch her from the beginning? This could be a slight gesture on the, you touch her on the elbow, on the back of the arm when you open her, when she sees you. Okay, you can touch her like that. All of those types of things you can try. You don't want to do too much. Generally, you don't want to touch a girl on any of the insides, okay, because these are more sensitive. Okay, you don't want to touch a girl anywhere on the inside of her body, okay, because this is more sexual, it's more sensitive. You don't want to do that off the open. But on the outside, it's more okay, on the back of the arms. You might want to do a light touch, just see if you can. But again, always take into account the girl's comfort level. In night game, you can get away with more touch off the open. In day game, it's going to be a lot harder, okay, because it might be a lot more weird. Okay, in night game, there's lots of music, you can get a lot closer to her, and it's easier for you to get away with touch in the beginning. The next thing to understand is rooting opportunity. If there's an opportunity to root, and I go into rooting in the future videos, which is basically telling her why you're there and making it very obvious to her why you're speaking to her, then you might want to take that opportunity. So if she's looking at a car, comment about the car. You've got a rooting opportunity. If she is staring at, I don't know, at bananas in a grocery store, you've got a rooting opportunity. Okay, you've got an opportunity to look at the bananas as well and then make a comment about it. And then she's not going to think, why on earth is this guy speaking to me? You've got that opportunity. We're going direct. She might be thinking, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Okay, so you might want to capitalize if you have that rooting opportunity. So this is the calibration to understand. Now let's get into types. Okay, so if you see one girl and you want to open her, well, again, all you need to do is pay all your attention to her. It's just one girl, okay? Any opener you do, that's fine. Just open that one girl. Two or more girls, you need to focus on both or the whole group, okay? And whatever opener you're using, don't just look at one girl, because if the other girl starts to lose interest, this girl is going to notice that and she's going to get bored. Okay, involve the whole group, even in your opener, especially in a longer opener, like an opinion opener. But even a cold read opener, involve the whole group. You look Swedish and you look Italian, but you look Mexican. Okay, you can involve the whole group. Mixed, again, involve the group, involve the guy and the girl, and see how the girl treats the guy. Maybe she doesn't even know him. Maybe after you get certain information, you realize he's just a random guy. Maybe he's the boyfriend. Maybe he's the brother. You don't know that, so you have to give them both attention. If she stops giving him attention, you can also stop giving him attention. How do you open a family? Okay, again, you can go direct, but you need to understand it might be putting a lot of pressure onto the girl, but there's also lots of pros that the family understands what the hell you're doing there. Okay, it also makes sense. You can go direct, you can also go indirect, but you have to realize that with an indirect open, you might not have lots of time. Okay, they might be thinking, okay, they're leaving, they're walking off. And remember, the time window is small. But if they are just kind of doing nothing, you can open the family just like you would any group. You can do an opinion opener. Okay, you can do a cold read opener if you want. But at some point, the family members are going to be thinking, what is he doing here? What does he want? And that's why you might need to transition to direct. A running set, a running interaction. So a girl that is running. She's physically running. How do you stop her? Well, if she's running, okay, and if she's running your direction, you can stop her head on, okay? Or you can, maybe she's running that direction and you have to actually physically run to stop her. And I'm going to go into basically side on, behind, head on. But just understand that if a girl's running, you can either use your volume, your delivery, speak louder because she's running, so she needs a volume to stop. Hey there, hey, really quick. You're going to have to speak louder because you need to stop her, okay? And now let's get into a walking set, a walking interaction. If a girl's walking, now again, you've got lots more opportunities to pick any of these openers because she's slower. You've got a bigger time window. Okay, But now let's talk into how do you actually open these girls? Head on, behind, or side on? Head on is when a girl's walking to you and you walking to her. What are the pros and cons of this? The cons are, if you open that girl, especially if you go direct, she's thinking, like, is he doing this to every single girl? He barely even had a second to see me and he's already telling me I'm cute. He probably did this to every other girl, okay? So head on, if a girl's walking towards me, I don't generally want to go straight away direct unless I make a good transition. Like I start commenting on something more indirect, maybe her clothes, or give her a semi-direct compliment. But again, I don't want it to seem like she's just the next girl, okay? Now, if she is walking head on, if she's walking towards me, I might try to see if I can make eye contact. And if she makes eye contact with me, I might stop her. But otherwise, I can still make eye contact, let her go past me, and then run back or walk back and open her after 5 seconds, okay? And then she understands, oh, this guy saw me. It makes more sense now. He's coming back to speak to me. I understand it, okay? It was in the moment. It just happened. And then you can go back and you can always say, hey there, I just saw you. I thought you were cute. Again, it's probably better to do direct because you're running after her. Now, when do you want to open her from behind? She's walking and you're walking in the same direction behind her. Do you ever want to open from behind? Generally not, but if you do open from behind, you want her to hear you, okay? She needs to hear you before she sees you. If she sees you first, it'll make her uncomfortable. If you're opening from behind and then you just randomly get in front of her, it's very weird. So I'm opening from behind and I'm already saying, hey there, hey guys, hey there, and then they look back and now I'm in their view. Okay, they hear me before they see me. That's fine, that's okay. You don't ever want to touch a girl on the shoulder or anything like that because she's going to be uncomfortable. Okay, from behind. Side on. Okay, if a girl's walking, you can also just walk with her, okay, and open from the side, okay? So you're opening on the side, you're next to her, you're both walking in that direction, and you're talking to her. You're walking and you're talking. Don't get too close to her, and also watch that if she walks a little bit to the left, you need to walk a little bit to the right. Don't follow her. If she goes a lot to the left, you go a lot to the right. You're always making sure that she's comfortable, but you're focusing and you're walking with her. There's enough space in between her. Okay, she's very comfortable, and you use your opener. Now, the next thing is when it comes to, you can again, so if a girl's walking towards you, or even if she's not, even if she's walking in the same direction, you can do a running stop. What does that mean? She's walking this way, instead of going side on and walking with her, okay, there's pros and cons to that, as we said, you can do a running stop, which shows a lot of confidence. So again, if the girl is walking in this direction, and I'm following her, and I'm doing a running stop and going around and stopping her. Generally, the way you want to do it is you count to 3. You generally count 3 steps. So she's walking, 1, 2, 3, you stop her there. There needs to be enough space between you and her, and also realize that when you stop her, she'll probably still take 1 or 2 steps forward, and you don't want to be stuck face to face like this, and you don't want her to kind of walk past you. So when you do the running stop, you need to leave enough space between you and her. Okay, this shows a lot of confidence doing a running stop, and you probably are definitely going to have to go direct. At the same time, she's going to be thinking, okay, has this guy done this to everyone? Okay, he's probably done this to a million girls. When you go indirect, she's not necessarily thinking that. Okay, so let's now go into seated. If a girl or girls are seated, how do you open them? You can open them in any way, but you have to realize that at some point you need to take a seat. Okay? If girls are seated and you're standing for the whole conversation, all it's showing them is that you are willing to be uncomfortable physically just to speak to them. Wow, how important are they to you that you're going to sacrifice your own comfort levels, your own physical comfort levels just to speak to them? At some point, you need to always match. You need to sit down with them. If they're standing up, you can always stand up, things like that. Okay, but at some point you need to take a seat, and you can always false time constraints as you're about to take the seat. Now we went into walking. I wrote that twice. Okay, standing. Standing is just like any normal interaction. If they're standing, you can go up and you can use any opener. If they're on the phone, You can use a proactive opener. You can comment on something that you think she's looking at or seeing. Oh, you're probably checking your stocks. Oh, you don't have to swipe on Tinder. Oh, you don't have to message me, I'm actually here. Okay? Again, you can make a funny opener, you can make a self-amusement type of opener, but you can comment on something to do with the opener. Now, you also might need, and I can add this to calibration here, statement of empathy. What is a statement of empathy? It's basically a statement where she realizes you understand the situation. If she's looking at her phone, you might have to open with, hey there, I can see that you're on the phone, but, then you go into it. Hey there, I can see that you're busy, but, now you don't generally want to always do that, but if she's doing something specific, you want to show that you're not a social violator. I can see that you're in the line to get a coffee, but. Otherwise, she's thinking, this guy doesn't even recognize that he's a social violator. So, you can do that a lot. Hey, I can see that you're doing X. You're just calling it out so she knows that you're aware of it, that you're not going to do anything stupid or crazy. Okay, you're aware that you're not going to be a social violator. Okay, so that's the types. The delivery, what you need to focus on is volume. Speak loud enough so the girls can hear you. If they can't hear you, none of this stuff matters. Nothing matters if they can't hear you. Okay, all of these things, all of the types, openers, calibration, direct versus indirect, everything, nothing matters if they can't hear you. Now, I'm going to go into, in a future video, into nuanced opening, which we're going to really break down things like volume and fidgeting and body language and all of that type of stuff. But right now, make sure they can hear you. Okay, as simple as that. With all of these things, with opening, you can write your openers down. Okay? Try have a few, like even if it's memorized a little bit, it's fine because it's just to start the conversation. Okay, you should never think after this whole video, what do I open with? I don't know what to say. Because that's just, you're not studying properly, you're not really doing your work, you're not implementing, you're not doing anything. Everything is here for you. Okay, and don't get too lost into the types and the calibration. If you're not too sure, just think, okay, if she's walking past or if she's not really doing anything, go direct. If she's doing something and it's going to be easier to get into an indirect conversation, maybe I'll try and go indirect. But again, you can test it out. There's no perfect time to go direct or a perfect time to go indirect. Maybe during the day, you enjoy more going direct. And if she's in a store, a clothing store or a jewelry store, you'll go indirect. Okay. Maybe at night, you enjoy going more indirect, okay, with cold reads and self-amusement openers and maybe situational. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, you want to test this out, you want to experiment, you want to see what resonates with you. But try, practice all of them so you can actually find out which ones work. And also, don't just do one of them once and then say to me, Gabriel, this didn't work. Okay, there's no such thing as it doesn't work. Everything here works. Everything works. Okay? Firstly, even if you get one girl rejecting you or whatever, that's not because it doesn't work. There's a million reasons why that could happen. But don't change openers or don't get disheartened because you try it once or twice. Try everything 10 times each, 15 times, and then start to see the patterns, start to see what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what you like, what you don't like, what's working for you, what's not working. Okay? And again, all of these things, you can prep, you can start to understand. There's a lot that's here. You don't have to learn all, I think there's 9 of them. You don't have to know all 9 or 10 of them, okay? But start off somewhere, okay? Very, very important. And then eventually you can keep coming back to this video and look at all the types and look at the calibration, okay? But no matter who you are, what your skill level is like, okay? Guys will always say to me like, Gabriel, like I'm already done with that stuff, with the opening stuff. No. I'm not done with this. I'm not done. I'm not too good for any of this. Okay? I need to constantly come back and think to myself, okay, what's the type? What's the opener? What's the calibration? I don't think of it all the time, but I'm saying you can never be too good at any of those things. And the way you need to see it is, what happens if your perfect girl, the girl that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, what happens if you mess it up because you didn't calibrate properly by understanding any of this stuff? And you got rejected, and you don't even know it yet. You don't even know that you were supposed to spend the rest of your life with her. okay? Because it would have been a great experience, it would have been amazing, but you got rejected because you didn't even open correctly. You were just thinking like, okay, let me just randomly say something stupid, okay? And the thing to understand is, because lots of people also say to me this, Gabriel, I've opened before with, hey, how are you? And it worked. I opened before with this type of words that you said I shouldn't do, and it worked. Yes, anything can work. Anything can work, but it's not about does it work. It's about what is the best. If you speak to 20 girls or 50 girls, what is going to be the best thing to use to make them comfortable, to give them a good experience, and for you to get a result that you're looking for? It's using the best strategies. Okay, yes, you can go up to any girl, say, hey, how are you? But it's just not the most effective thing to do. Okay? And the things that you don't want to do, you don't want to use openers that using things like that are disgusting or making her feel bad, anything like that, just because you find it funny. Okay? And also, you want to pay attention to not using things like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Why are you so sorry for speaking to her? Okay, in day game, why do you have to excuse yourself for speaking to her? Why do you have to apologize for speaking to her? I'm not saying you have to ever be rude, you shouldn't. But you can still say, hey there, quick question, I can see that you're doing X, I just wanted to say this. Why do you have to excuse yourself? And also what you want to focus on is watch out for not showing traits of being very low value. So let's say for a direction opener, you don't want to walk up to a girl and kind of ask her, hey there, do you know where the best parties are? Hey there, do you know where the best party in the city is? Now again, you can do that for research and recon, but that's not the best way to game this girl. You should be on the inside. You should always show that you understand exactly where the parties are because you're on the inside. You have all the value. You don't want to ever be going up and saying, hey there, I don't know what's going on, please tell me. Now again, you can do this if you're getting to do research, but not necessarily if you want to just open the girl. You always need to show that you're on the in. You know what's going on. Okay? And again, don't get too stuck in every little thing that I've said. If you use excuse me here or there, it's okay. Okay, it's not going to kill things, but you want to understand the principles. If you ask her like, hey there, I'm looking for a good party, don't just think, oh my God, I have to leave now. It's okay, but generally you want to abide by all these principles. So the things here, if you come from the right mindsets and you have all of this in your locker, okay, you're going to have much more room to open girls more effectively. Okay, because I see it all the time. Guys are thinking, how do I open this girl? She's seated. She's in a group. What should I say? And most of the time, what do guys do? They just, this is what they're thinking. Just go open with whatever's on your mind. Okay, well, I will destroy these guys. Okay, absolutely destroy them. Okay, why? Because I don't just do that. I'm not just relying on luck. Let's just go and see what happens. Let's just go and hope. Let's just hope if I've got a good vibe and good energy that she likes me. Okay, stop hoping and start using the skill to get certain results and certain reactions. Okay, and the girl will be more thankful for you. Okay, because you're actually doing something that's calibrated. Okay, I've tried it. I've tried it where it's just like, just go into every interaction and say anything. Okay, say anything. Well, you can do that, but you're going to miss out. You're not going to get the same responses, the same reactions. You're going to get rejected more. So it's up to you. Are you in this to actually have a good experience with a girl and get a result? Or are you in this just to randomly do stupid things? Okay, it's as simple as that. So if you're new, pick one or two and start using it. If you're more experienced, start looking into everything I've said with calibration and types. Okay, and the pros and cons of direct versus indirect. So keep coming back to this video. Also go to the approach anxiety video and the fear of rejection video. But now you literally have everything you need to open. Okay, you know how to overcome approach anxiety. You know how to overcome the fear of rejection. You've got the right mindset. You've got all the practical tools to overcome approach anxiety, fear of rejection. Okay, you've got all the mindsets that you need to open. You've got all the practical openers. So now you're set to continue with the program and know exactly how to open a girl.